Hi, welcome to the Blackbaud Ninja channel. Today, I'd like to share with you a feature in database view called Quick Letters. Quick Letters is found in Mail and can be used to create mail lists for your appeals, your newsletters, invitations, or whatever you need. Using Quick Letters will allow you to select contacts to mail to, seasonal addresses, and it will allow you to segment your mail and load appeals and packages to your constituent records at the same time. Let me show you an example. I have a mailing that I need to run for constituents that live in Illinois, Indiana, and Iowa. My communications team wants to give separate messaging to target groups. So alumni of the 90s, they have a separate message for them. If somebody's a major donor, they have something else to say. An alumni, general alumni, or if they gave a cash gift of $1,000, they get a different message. And then everybody else that lives in those 3 states gets a mailing as well. I can create queries for each of these segments and put them into Quick Letters. I don't have to exclude them to merge them from other queries, and my output will be in one file with the package to know which segment they belong to, and it will not be duplicated. So let me show you how. First off, just note that you need to have your appeal and packages created. You can do that through appeals and do new appeal and add your packages to that appeal. So let's get started. The first query that I have is I-states. It's a very simple query of Illinois, Indiana, and Iowa for the preferred state. Next, let's talk about the special messaging that we need to do. So we have the alumni of the 90s, we have alumni, we have major donor, and we have 1,000 plus cash gift donors. If you'll notice, my I-states query out constituents is a lot less than my alumni. That's because I didn't have to restrict it to the states. I can do that in Quick Letters. So let's go over there. So to get to Quick Letters, we go to Mail, and then we have Quick Letters. So to begin, we start out with the query that we want to start with. So that's my I-states. Next, household processing. We can mail it to everybody in the head of household. We can mail to the first constituent found, or we can mail to both constituents separately. I'm selecting first constituent found because if you have couples, it will find the first query that they go into, and then they will be tagged with that package and appeal. If I want alumni to get both letters, I would want to mail to them separately. If we have a couple that is an alum of the 90s, but is also a major donor, by checking the mail to first constituent found, they will go into the alumni of 90s group. Fields to include is another function that is very helpful. Fields to include must have the segment appeal and segment package for your output so you'll know which segment they go into. The rest is your contact information. I forgot to mention over here on the General tab to create an output query. That way, if you need to append any other information, such as phone numbers, giving information, email addresses, you can do that through export easily. Filters, if you notice, I didn't have it exclude any solicit codes in my queries as well. So I can do that right here by excluding people marked do not mail or do not solicit. You can add or exclude people via the attributes as well, or update records. I'm not going to do that at this time. Individual address processing. If I wanted to send out use seasonal addresses in the future, I can select that here. I can also select which address type to use. And the same for organizations. You can mail to contacts, you can send to only your primary contact, or you can just mail it to the organization. It will identify for you, and if things aren't found the way that you think they should be, you can have them print with no address so you can go back and research later. Next is the segment tab, and it's probably my favorite part of this. To select segments so they will show up, you select segment mail run. You can update the number solicited for each appeal and package, and that will show on the appeal record. And you can add the appeal and package to each constituent record if you would like. For this purpose, I'm not going to, but when you're doing a big mailing and everything, this is super handy to do. The only thing is that it can take a little bit of time to add that information to the constituents record. So always have another instance of database view or move over to NXT web view to do your work while this is running. If you have Q, you can probably set it up to run off hours as well. So here's where I put my input queries based on the order of the hierarchy. So alumni of the 90s is my first group. So I'm going to add it to the top row, give it the appeal that I want to give it, and the package name. I've also added an output query on here. That way, if you ever need to check your data or do anything further with those groups, you have it available. My next group is major donor, then alumni, then 1,000 plus cash gifts. And then if my constituents don't fall under any of those queries, I want them still in the mailing. And so my original query is going to find everybody else. If somebody fits the criteria of a major donor and alumni, they're going to be in the major donor group. They are not going to be found in the alumni, and so forth. So then I have my output options. More importantly, I can sort. If it's going straight to a mail house and it has to be in zip code order, I can put it in there. If you want to look at it, it can be in alphabetical order. You can also sort it by segment or query. And that's just another way to look at things. And then you click export. Once you click export, you'll give it a location, create your file, and then your file will process and create your query. Here is the output file that was created from our quick letter run. As you can see, my I states are all there. So it's just a way to double check your queries. And then we also have the appeal that we loaded in and the segment package. So we know that the alumni 90 group was created, the alumni, the major donor, and $1,000 donors, and then our other group is also in there. So these guys did not fit the criteria for the others. Maybe they were non-donors, maybe just anything like that. So there you have your file. It's ready to send off to the communications department for their merging and mailing off to the printer. Thanks and have a great day.